Hi everyone! I'm going to start by saying something nice about the Ahsoka show. This, like all the Disney Star Wars shows, looks and sounds amazing. The visual, art direction and music really does give the vibe of a science fiction story from a galaxy far, far away. It is simply a spectacle to the eye. So, if you shut down your brain and just watch it without thinking, you might actually enjoy it. Aside from that, this show is a train wreck, an insult to us viewers, and I'm going to explain why that is. Before I start, there is no way to talk about this show without a bunch of spoilers, so consider yourself warned. Let's start with the most action-packed scenes, the lightsaber battles. They feel like some kids fighting with some wooden sticks and miss all the time. The choreography is almost non-existent or incredibly slow, like they've never practiced. And in almost all the battles, you see them swinging the lightsaber in empty space. The lightsaber itself, it's supposed to be this deadly weapon that can cut any steel or full-on melt layers of blast doors.
Close the blast doors! They are still coming through.
But in this show, the lightsabers barely scratch any living thing. And when someone actually gets full-on stabbed with the lightsaber, the next day they immediately get up like there was nothing. A lightsaber stab now only gives people a small scar. You mean to tell me that this burning sword that can melt doors and cut iron with ease is not doing any damage to flesh and meat? I mean, look at the previous Star Wars movies, where full-on Jedi masters are stabbed by lightsabers and they immediately die. You mean to tell me that this untrained girl without any force powers gets stabbed by a lightsaber and the next day she walks like there was nothing? Also, in the same show, we see them cut metal droids in half, but when it comes to cutting fragile meat, the swords are useless. There is no coherence between what the lightsaber is and what it does. And in all the battles, the bad guys are incompetent, as they can never land a hit on anyone. Even when we see Stormtroopers, full-on military-trained soldiers that are commanded by the most feared admiral, they can't even land one shot. I mean, their entire purpose is to do war and shoot their targets, but they're completely useless. The only time they do seem to hit the target is when they face Sabine, a Mandalorian that only has a small upper body armor, and of course, they can only hit the armor. Even when the enemy has the upper hand and the element of surprise, they start screaming, announcing themselves like some anime character, shouting their move before an attack.
For the Empire!
Then we have a scene where the main characters are surrounded and outnumbered by the enemy, and the enemy, who has given an order to shoot and kill them, just stands and waits. Come on, shoot! Shoot!
Destroy them.
Wait! We could talk.
Okay, she has given you an order to shoot. Now shoot them!
Don't you want to take us as prisoners?
Why are they not shooting and listening to the enemy? Your sole purpose is to follow orders. What is happening in this show? Oh, and don't even get me started with the space fights. As even when outnumbered, nobody from the bad guys can hit anything. They are using ships designed for war and combat, and they can't even hit one small ship. Even when a bigger, more powerful ship that is equipped with huge cannons is unable to take a tiny ship.
I'm surprised you let them get this far. Stay clear. I shall deal with them. Prepare turbolasers.
Ready.
Open fire.
Steady. This is intolerable.
This is supposed to be a faction that lives and breathes war. What happens when they face the entire rebel fleet? And now, we have the most stupidest scene in the entire show. to explain this. The small ship eventually gets hit by the big cannons. Once. They manage to get one hit on the good guys, but it barely gets a scratch, just like the lightsaber fights. And now, the good guys can't move and are stranded in space.
What's working? Not much. Our backup kicked in, but we're dead in space. No hyperdrive, no cannons.
The enemy is free to fire upon the ship and take it out, but the main character puts on a suit and goes into space to fight them. And she is now able to cut and destroy a full spaceship with a tiny lightsaber. What? If the lightsaber is able to do that to a spaceship, how on earth is it not able to kill someone who gets stabbed by one? Then we get to the laws of physics. Gravity doesn't work like that. If you jump in space like this, you are not coming back. You literally go like this. And for those of you who will start typing in the comments that her magnetic boots are the ones to bring her back, it's still not plausible, because we have a scene after that that shows how close the boots needs to be in order for them to work. Then, even more stupid is that the enemy ships are so incompetent that instead of firing on the ship, a ship that is not moving, a stationary target, they start to fire on Ahsoka, ignoring the ship completely. How stupid is this? And to add even more insult to us viewers who are baffled by all that is happening, we see the enemy ships firing to hit the main character while she is running for her life, missing her entirely, but hitting her ship. Finally, you would expect the ship to blow up now, but the lasers do no damage at all, not even a scratch. What is the point of these lasers if they can't do any damage? What is the point of the combat ships? This is so stupid. Yes, it is enjoyable to watch, but the amount of inconsistency this show has, it is simply out of this world. Even the main story is stupid. So, there is this evil genius admiral named Thrawn, who is technically now the new leader of the Empire, since the Emperor was defeated. This feared admiral was outsmarted by a 19-year-old boy named Ezra, who can talk to space whales. Yes, you heard that. Space whales. So, this boy sacrifices himself to send this admiral far, far away to a different galaxy with the help of the space whales with no way back in order to save their main galaxy from him. Now, our main protagonist, Sabine... Oh, wait. It's Ahsoka. I don't know, as they both have the same amount of screen time. Anyway, this Ahsoka, who is a Jedi, but not really a Jedi...
I am no Jedi.
...is now searching for a ball. That is actually a map, to find a way to bring Ezra back from the other galaxy. The problem is that the main protagonist is now working to undo everything that Ezra sacrificed for. Because if she finds a way to bring Ezra back, she will also find Thrawn. And she constantly talks about how bad it will be if Admiral Thrawn gets back to their main galaxy, starting a new war with massive casualties. But still, everything she does is on the path to bringing Thrawn back. If she really is this righteous Jedi, or at least this person who was trained in the Jedi ways that stands for peace, she would have destroyed the map immediately after she found it, but she doesn't. Let's get back to the ball, as basically the entire show structure can be defined as this ball. So, she is trying to unlock the map from this ball, but she, or the 20,000-year-old Jedi robot, is unable to do that. All she had to do to unlock it was to just turn the visible parts like a Rubik's Cube that even a child could do. So, unable to solve the map, she goes to Sabine for help. And Sabine does just that, turns the visible parts and the map is revealed. This is how the entire show is. A puzzle ball that can be solved by everyone except the main characters. And they spent a lot of time on these puzzle leads to push the plot. They simply waste the viewer's time with unnecessary puzzles. Now the acting is also a weird topic, as I'm not sure if the actors are intentionally, from the script, acting so cringe every time there is a logical thing happening, or they're simply bad actors. This scene perfectly shows how the entire show is.
Why'd we drop out of hyperspace so far from the planet?
Standard Jedi mission protocol when approaching an unknown situation, in order to avoid enemy surveillance.
He's still doing this? Programming.
Right.
In any case,
Why is Sabine and Ahsoka reacting like some kids, when the robot, who is thousands of years old and has extensive experience, did a logical and strategic move in order to avoid the enemy. But no, let's make this face when the robot does some logical thing that was programmed to do in the first place. Still, I think the writers are at fault here, as the entire show is a mess, and even when we do have some nice moments, they cannot come up with some good dialogue, and instead they just give us the "it's complicated" line.
You know, I was beginning to think we'd never find you.
How did you?
What?
Find me. You never said.
It's complicated.
That's complicated.
Yeah.
There are a lot more things to say, but these are the main and biggest problems I see with this show. Like I said at the beginning, if you shut your brain and just watch it for the visuals, you might actually enjoy it. So that's my take on this. Let me know what's your opinion in the comments. Thank you, and I'm out.